And the Texas Land Commissioners offering the incoming Trump administration more than 1,400 acres of land to build deportation facilities. That land is in Stark County, directly north of the U.S.-Mexico border. In a letter to the president-elect, Commissioner Dawn Buckingham says her office is fully prepared to work with federal agencies for the processing, detention, and coordination of what she calls the largest deportation of violent criminals in the nation's history. Buckingham spoke to ABC News' Maria Villarreal about that offer.
What we're talking about now with the potential deportation and detention facility is really about getting the violent crimes off of our soil who continue to hurt our sons and daughters. I have 13 million acres. If any of them can be of help in this process, we're happy to have that discussion.
And Director of the Center for U.S. and Mexico at Rice University's Baker Institute for Public Policy, Tony Payan, joins me now for more. Tony, thank you for coming on. How would facilities like these work?
You know, we've seen it in the past. During the first Trump administration, there were very facilities that were kind of makeshift. There were tents. Lots of agents were deployed. The Texas National Guard, lots of federal agents were deployed to the border. The problem there is that you often have too many migrants to a tent in a particular spot, and then you have to feed them, you have to take care of them, you have to provide medical care, you have to process them, and then you have to transport them and deport them. So it's a very complicated operation, but I think it's been done before. We certainly in Texas, we've seen it.
President-elect Trump says he plans to declare a national emergency and use the military to carry out this deportation program, but he hasn't specified details. What obstacles do you think he might face, and could these potential deportation facilities ease some of the roadblocks there?
Well, a lot of resistance, obviously, from the military. I don't think the military likes to conduct these operations. They obviously think that this is for law enforcement, perhaps the National Guard in the states deploying elements from various states. Nebraska and North Dakota and other states have offered some of those specific members of the state guards. And of course, they've been at the border already. You can see the wire and the vehicles and the deployment of additional personnel beyond CBP. So it's quite possible that they may end up doing that, but not. I don't think the military is that amenable to certainly following President Trump's orders and just simply moving to the border. It'll be a very complicated order if the president decides to simply use active military personnel for this.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said yesterday that there's a plan to receive deported Mexicans from the U.S. if these mass deportations happen. What would something like this mean for U.S.-Mexico relations?
They're already on a very, a rocky terrain, I think. It's been very difficult. President-elect Trump brings 4 specific topics to it. Of course, trade, of course, the issue of fentanyl and organized crime in Mexico, and trade, which will be an issue as the USMCA approaches review and revision in 2026. And of course, we'll see if Marco Rubio gets confirmed at the State Department. Mexico's alignment of its foreign policy with Cuba and Venezuela is not going to go well with the State Department. So it's already, we anticipate, I think, a very difficult relationship. Immigration will, of course, continue to be at the center of it, but I think Trump will not let Mexico confine the binational relationship to the issue of immigration. It will be a much broader agenda, and I unfortunately think that Mexico is not quite ready for what is coming. It's certainly going to be a target of the next Trump administration.
And officials from the incoming Trump administration say they will focus on deporting migrant criminals, but the Biden administration says it's already doing that. So what differences can we expect between the two administrations' immigration policies?
You know, the question here is whether you can catch 10.7 million undocumented residents in the United States. That's a massive operation, trying to find them all over the place. Many of them, of course, concentrated in California. We're going to see some resistance from the state government in California. Some of them are in Texas, of course. Those are 2 big states for undocumented immigrants in the United States. It is quite possible that this is about showing some force, showing that he's fulfilling his promise. There'll be certainly some raids on certain work sites. There'll be some shows, some political circus that you have to sort of demonstrate to your base that you are carrying out your promises. But extracting 10.7 million individuals, most of them are actually employed, is going to be quite a challenge.
All right, Tony Payan, the director of the Center for the U.S. and Mexico at Rice University's Baker Institute for Public Policy. Thank you.
Thank you.